Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We're going to be having some fun with picture frames today, reusing some Christmas cards again, or maybe looking at photographs in a different way and having some fun with those, or your paper from your scrapbooking supplies, craft paper, any of that, okay? Even wrapping paper. But what I would do, once I knew for sure how I wanted this, I would probably paint this frame because we're wanting to simulate looking out a window from inside the home. So what I've done, I would normally paint this white. And then I've got the white inside to simulate the panes of glass. Now, you can take photographs. You know, these are going to be of my nieces. And I would put this in, flip it over. I just printed it on regular paper for demonstration purposes. And when I flip it over, I would move it around just a little bit. And it would, you know, look like you're looking out the window at the girls, for example. And I think that is really cute. I had one that I wanted to do, but it just didn't fit well. Oh, here's another, the same picture farther away, just to give you some ideas. This one, we would want to shift over because we're cutting one of the girls off. So you would want to just play with it until you had them both in the picture. You could go left or right, just bearing in mind over here you need to be careful. Okay, so that's another one. With that you would get the snow scene and everything like you were really looking outdoors. The one I had of them that I thought was so cute, they were making snow angels, but it didn't work out. And I'll show you. And not all photographs will, but it's fun to play around with it. You know, it was just cutting them off everywhere. If I tried to get one in the picture, it didn't help the other, you know. So, not all pictures will work out that way for you, but some will, and it's a lot of fun to use. The other thing that you can do, though, when you start getting into your craft papers now, this was actually from a Christmas card, and I scanned it in and printed it larger. And so when you flip it over, it looks like the big moon, and you can see Santa and the reindeer. So that's really cute. Now you could take that a step further, and you can layer things in here. So if we take this out just a moment. And down in the corner, we might want this little guy in. And let me go ahead and put something hard back here to hold that steady, so when I flip it, it looks better. Yeah. So you have the little elf looking in the window, but in the background, you still have the big moon, the snowy scene, and Santa in the background. So you could do something like that. Let's see what else I have. Oh yeah, I actually have a Santa. I think he came from my Microsoft Office clip art. But we would put him in there. I'll just temporarily tape him down so he doesn't move. And from one of my Christmas cards, I have, looks like a branch with a red bird. We'll just lay that in there as well. You could really just be creative with it at this point. These were just some things I brought in to show you. And let's say we had maybe a snow scene from our scrapbook paper that we used in the back of all of it. That would be really cute. Now we're going to switch over to a smaller one. Oh, I did have a snowman. Let me get him as well. So if you did have like a piece of scrapbook paper that had a lot of snow on it, you might have your snowman in the corner here, and then back it, we'll just use this for the sake of argument, with a snow scene. And you would have something like that, where if you were looking out the window, you could see where the kids built their snowman, for example, and you would have a snowy scene behind it. So it's just really limitless on what you could do, whether you're enlarging your own photographs or using some of your old Christmas cards. It's a lot of fun to reuse those. Now you could go smaller. I do have a 4x6. Let me just lay that out of the way and get it. Now one thing I thought about the 4x6 that I liked, and again, you could do it with any size, but I used the lightest weight paper I had and went into my Microsoft Office clip art and I printed the nativity. And if you put this in, but you don't put the heavy thick back on it, you would at this point maybe put a layer of clear glue or decoupage on there and just lay this into it and let it dry. Whenever you would put this near a light source, it's really going to glow really pretty. So if you printed it even smaller and put it in small frames, you could put it on the Christmas tree, and when it lights up, they would have a nice glow to it. There's not any way to simulate it here during the day, but it is very pretty. Or if you had, you know, the little tea lights that run on batteries, you can get them at the dollar store or anywhere. If you had this just sitting maybe on an easel with one of those behind it, something like that. Okay, so you could do something that simple as well. But what we're going to do is go ahead and with this one, I've just cut a little black strip to do a 2-paned glass. And I'll just put some tape on that to hold it steady. And again, once you knew what you were going to do, you would actually decoupage these things down to hold them. Or you could tape. That's not a big deal either if you were going to change them up from year to year. Now on this one, this was a part of a Christmas card, and you could do something very simple and just use that. Let's put this in so you can see it. That'll hold it nice and flat. And you would just have a night scene. Now you could always put Merry Christmas, things like that in there as well. You could also layer with this one. Maybe we could take our snowman. We may not, well, we could do the whole thing, but you may just want to put the snowman down here. Here's another one that is a little more to it than just the stars. We have some stars, some hills, some trees, just depending on where you cut your paper. So you could go ahead and put this in on top of him. And of course cut that off if you decide that's the only part you wanted. And then when we flip him, we're going to have this. Well, and if you really wanted to take it a step further, I cut out some little mittens, and you could have a little mitten under there where it looks like he's waving, or you can make it more three-dimensional. Slide the mitten under the frame on the front here. And fold it over and just attach it to where it looked like his little hand is coming through the window. Okay, and of course you could do the same thing with photographs. You could do the bird on the limb again. You would just have less of it showing, but it would still be very pretty, especially if your room decor had the cardinals or the red birds in it. Oh, you'd want your background, of course. And Santa might fit in there. Let's see. So they're just really cute little things you could do with the kids or just do for yourself. You can make several and hang them together. If you happen to have any old windows, you know, you can print these things as large as you need them. If you did have one that, you know, you couldn't print larger than an 8 by 10, not a big deal, because if you have your panes, let's say you did have a really large window and you wanted to make something pretty big, you know, all you would do is measure inside the panes and print to fit each pane and then put it together like a puzzle. You know, instead of having this, for example, one piece laying in there, you would print out each individual little thing from the picture and put them in and paste them together to make them fit. You don't have to be able to print, you know, an 18 by 20 sheet of paper. You section it off and you print each individual piece of that picture, and then you're able to fit it to whatever size frame you have. That's the same concept if you've seen any of my Vacation Bible School decoration ideas where I show you how you can print a 5-foot backdrop. You know, just by using your printer and by cropping your photos and printing lots of 8 by 10s and putting them together. It's the same concept depending on the size of your window and the size of your panes, because that's what you would concentrate on. So anyway, I hope this gives you some ideas, whether you buy the tiny little wallet size frames that you hang on a tree or if you go big with it. But I just wanted to inspire you guys to think outside the box and reuse those Christmas cards or your scrapbook paper that's laying in there that you still haven't used yet. You know, look at it in a different way and have some fun with it. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.